I'm Stuart McIntosh with the BBC News. Hello. The American conspiracy theorist Alex Jones has been ordered to pay more than $45 million in punitive damages to the parents of a child killed in the Sandy Hook school shooting in 2012. He had falsely claimed that the mass shooting was a hoax. The jury found that the parents of one of the victims had endured harassment and emotional distress because of his comments. Our North America correspondent Nomia Iqbal is in Washington.
After the Sandy Hook shooting, which was the worst school shooting in American history, 20 students, 6 adults died. He claimed that it was a hoax set up by the US government in order to try and take away people's guns. And he pushed that lie for a long, long time. And a family of a 6-year-old killed in Sandy Hook brought this case against him. They had sought about $145.9 million in punitive damages. They got yesterday $4 million, and today this has now been awarded to them.
Palestinian militants from the Islamic Jihad faction have fired dozens of rockets into Israel in response to Israeli airstrikes on the Gaza Strip that killed a commander of the group as well as 9 others, including an infant. Islamic Jihad said 100 rockets had hit Tel Aviv and other cities. Yolande Knell reports from Jerusalem.
Warning sirens have been sounding in southern Israel and suburbs of Tel Aviv in response to the Palestinian rocket fire. Small explosions in the night sky showed successful interceptions by Israeli air defences. The Israeli army has said it's targeting sites belonging to Islamic Jihad. Earlier this week, Israel arrested a leader of the militant group in a deadly raid in the West Bank, which prompted fears of Palestinian retaliation. Islamic Jihad has vowed to avenge Israeli strikes, while Hamas, which governs Gaza, said armed groups would not keep silent.
Kiev and Moscow say 2 bouts of shelling have hit the site of the Russian-occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the biggest in Europe. Danny Eberhard has the details.
These are the most serious incidents since Russian forces captured the plant in early March, when shelling started fires but didn't lead to a radioactive leak. The 2 sides give similar accounts of bouts of shelling in the afternoon, which hit power lines, and then shortly after, the site itself. Ukraine's state nuclear energy firm called the attacks a Russian provocation, warning of a risk of radioactive leaks. Russia says they were terrorist acts by the Ukrainians. The UN's nuclear watchdog says it's seeking more information about the reports.
The United States envoy on climate change has said China's decision to suspend cooperation with America on the issue punished the world. John Kerry said the move would hurt the developing world in particular. Earlier, Washington accused China of what it called fundamentally irresponsible behaviour. You're listening to the latest world news from the BBC. The US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has urged the leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan to hold direct talks in an attempt to resolve the long-running conflict in the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh region. The area is recognised as part of Azerbaijan but controlled by ethnic Armenians. Renewed fighting this week left 3 people dead. Police in the restive Sudanese region of Darfur say 5 members of the security forces have been killed in an ambush by an armed group in central Darfur state. In West Darfur state, at least 15 people were killed on Thursday on the border between Sudan and Chad as they searched for their camels which had been stolen the previous day. Zainab Mohammed Salah reports.
The 15 nomads were shot and killed by Chadian gunmen in the north of Al Junaina, the capital of West Darfur, according to Abdullah Adam, a traditional mayor for a nomad community. The vice president of the Sovereign Council, Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, attended their funeral today. A day before, there was fighting between Sudanese nomads and Chadian gunmen in Serba locality, in which 2 Sudanese nomads were killed and many cattle taken to Chad.
Doctors and dentists in Sierra Leone have called off a nationwide strike over pay and benefits, which began on Monday, after reaching an agreement with the government. The health workers had been protesting against the removal of allowances and tax exemptions introduced during the COVID pandemic, which was stopped in May, effectively cutting their pay. A giant mechanical bull that became the star of the Commonwealth Games opening ceremony in Birmingham will not be dismantled after a successful campaign for it to be saved and displayed in the English city. Nearly 10,000 people signed a petition to stop the 10-metre tall structure being taken apart. The raging bull will now go on public view until the end of September. BBC News.